The Layla Show. Welcome back to another week of the Layla Show. And this week we are talking to Jake Crossman. And you are the starter of USA Health, right? And
USA Medical, yeah.
Medical. Yeah, okay, sorry. USA Medical. And you are a health coach, nutritionist, and a health influencer. So welcome.
Thanks for having me on the show, Layla. I'm looking forward to being here.
I'm happy to have you. So, yeah, I'm so interested to hear everything that you're doing with your clients and as a health influencer, obviously, because there's so many health problems in our country and, especially in our country, I want to say, because I've lived in Europe and there's not quite literally all the issues there that we have.
Yeah, I'm happy you started with that because, I think the difference between America and Europe is the sense that in America, we are told what is correct. We are told by health experts what is healthy, what is not healthy. It's very, very black and white. And if you don't agree, you're a conspiracy theorist, you're a lunatic, you're wrong. Whereas in Europe, it's a lot more like this is the general guidelines of what we know. This is what we understand. It's up to you, the consumer, to make your own choice and to, stay healthy. And, it's just such a better way of doing things to be like, hey, there's some personal responsibility on you to like actually learn about health and actually make sure you're staying healthy, based on what is both generally accepted, what the data shows, and then the things that you just know to be true. If you feel better when you eat this food and you feel worse when you eat this food, go with the better food. So I think there's a lot less personal responsibility here in the United States. There's a lot more we're just told what is right, and if you don't agree, you're wrong.
Yeah, 100%. Which is just like wild because we're constantly, well, like the environment's evolving, we're evolving as human beings. So, like, whatever's fact, I don't think there is any fact because it is like,
Right.
I do think it's all, like you said, if this makes you feel good, then you do that, which isn't going to be the same for other people. And that goes down to like blood types and stuff. Some people need more meat than other
Mhm.
people and more proteins than other people, just like literally function. So it's like, to put this be all and end all on anything, health, anything. I just feel like there is no be all and end all for everything because we
Yeah.
are all unique individuals. So
Science is not conclusive, and I hate when people say trust the science because that's nonsense. There's no consensus among scientists. Everyone's arguing, everyone's discussing. That's the point of it. We're
yes,
looking for truth. We're trying to find truth. And when people say trust the science, what they're really saying is don't read anything more, don't think anymore, don't use your brain. Trust what I'm saying. And it's
right.
who made you the authority on what is true?
That's so true. And yeah, no, and scientists, they're just trying to figure it out. Like they're just like, okay, what happens when we mix X plus
Yeah,
Z?
right.
Like, so yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And, science is just that. It's an experiment. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's an ever evolving experiment. It's an ongoing experiment. And to
right.
think that we got it right now, oh, in the year 2024, when we got it right, it's perfect. It's like that's
I
ridiculous.
think we're so far off.
Yeah,
I don't think
absolutely.
we're remotely near perfect. And
Well, yeah.
I know you talk about CBGs and CBDs and stuff, and
Mhm.
that's just like, but just with that, there's science on that, but there's so many different, when you talk about health, just so many different avenues and
Yeah.
compounds, and there's eating, and then there's supplements, and like, yeah, there is no be all. There's
Mhm.
no be all and end all,
Mhm. Yeah.
period.
Yeah. We're just scratching the surface, even to this day, and it's being more receptive to counter opinions or opinions that just don't fall in line with what you want to believe. That's how we grow and that's how we learn. But when you decide, no, I'm right and I could never be wrong, it's like, well, there's not much room for discussion there. Now you're just making yourself the authority on something you don't even understand.
Right, which is like a flaw in not only the health system, but human beings in general, because we all like to think that, well, not me. I'm open to the fact that I feel a certain way about certain things, but I don't know shit, and you can
Mhm.
always change my mind. But,
Mhm.
the general consensus of human beings,
Mhm.
your opinion is it. That's
Mhm.
it, you know? So, yeah. Well, how did you get into this field in
Uh,
general?
Yeah, I mean, I started my career in television and film. I went to film school and started working for ESPN when I was like 19.
Mhm.
And I spent the first 4 years of my career in television, in live broadcast television. And the short of it is I was tired, I was burnt out, I was unhappy with the state of television after COVID. And it's gotten a lot better. And I have to admit, like, the industry is getting back. But since COVID, the industry changed so much, and I just didn't like the changes. So at the time, I was able to work with an investor who wanted to launch the CBD brand here in the United States. And that's what I did. And it was through starting the CBD brand that I fell in love with health in general. And that's when I became a nutritionist. That's when I went back to school and got that certification. That's when I kind of really got into holistic health. And that's, that duration of time was when I was on TikTok kind of the most, just like sharing what I was learning, sharing what I was thinking about, sharing what I was going through. And, I think that was the era of my TikTok that people were most interested in, was me learning, and the growth era. So, it's a new era now, but I look back on those videos very fondly of when I didn't quite know what I was talking about. And that was the point. It was a lot of like science. It was, hey, this is what I'm looking at. This is what I'm researching. This is what I think. Let's talk about it. And there was a lot of great discussion back then. But there's a lot less great discussion these days as people have solidified their opinions in life.
That makes sense. I like that though. I mean, we all want to watch people go through like the learning process, and
Yeah.
I don't know, it's very interactive. And yeah, I mean, I personally love hearing people's journeys and figuring
Yeah.
out what the fuck they're doing. So I love that. But now you feel like you know what you're doing.
Well,
Correct.
that's kind of the shift is I think for a while it was, my platform was a platform where there could be discussion and there could be a lot of, a lot of different opinions could live in the same place. Whereas now I'm a little bit less open to the fringe. I'm more like, this is what I think, this is kind of how it is. And I think I have some tenets to health that, I've come up with and that I really stick to. Like a very obvious one for me is that health should be simple. I think if health is not simple, something's going wrong. Someone's overcomplicating it for money or for power or for some reason. And, it's at this point, there's enough people on TikTok, enough people saying the hard things and the weird diets and the weird routines that I just want to be the one that cuts through and says, look, you can do it easier. It can be easier than that.
Well, I mean, I'm excited to hear you elaborate on what makes it easier. But like, yeah, there's literally, especially with TikTok, everything's like so available, and like everybody and like literally and their mothers are like,
Mhm.
well, try this, like
Yeah.
the trendy diets, or like when everyone was like, oh, just drink oats in the morning and lime juice. And it's like
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
just like a new thing all the time. But that's always been with like crash diets and Weight Watchers, like all that. It's all always just like a trendy fad thing. But like
Mhm.
none of those things are sustainable, really. Like I've always felt that anything that tells me like you can't have these things, or like you have to
Mhm.
do this, it's like it's an unsustainable way to live. Like because
Yeah.
nobody wants to go through life depriving themselves of things that make them happy. But we all also want to be healthy,
Mhm.
and I also don't want to change what that is every 5 minutes to match some
Exactly.
trend. And
Yeah.
like, I also don't want to spend $8 billion on the new supplement, because I've never taken a supplement that actually like makes me feel, like the be all and end all. And they
Mhm.
change every 5 seconds. So
Mhm.
it's like,
Yeah, it's so true what you said about, just the amount of supplements and the amount of options and the amount of diets, and well, like you said, when someone starts a new fad diet or starts a new something, it's sexy at first, and it's like, oh, I'm doing this new thing,
oh,
and you
it's
tell
so
all your
trendy.
friends about it, you show it on Instagram, you show what you're doing, then you get bored. Within a few days, you're so bored and it's not working. You don't see the results. Nothing's different. You don't feel any different. It's just not working. And what I tell people is like, wherever you are at in your health, let's just go with weight, 'cause that's a big one. If someone is overweight,
Mhm.
right? You didn't get overweight yesterday, right? You
No.
didn't get overweight last week. You didn't get overweight this last year. It's a gradual, long thing that happens that brought you here. So it's gonna be the same gradual, long timeline on the back end, right? If somebody promises you instantness, instant fix, instant whatever, It's not real. That's where you know it's fake. That's where you know it's not going to work. And it's even the tools that I offer. So obviously I'm big on CBD, I'm big on CBG, and those are very fast acting tools, but they're not fast acting fixes, right? They're not going to fix you forever. If you are in severe pain, CBG will quickly help you get out of pain, but that doesn't mean whatever's causing you pain is fixed. It just means you're
Right.
out of it right now. And a lot of the coaching I do is like, look, let's use CBG, let's use CBD as a tool, but now we have to do the work to actually fix whatever's causing the problem. If you're in severe pain, you might not want to stretch, right? It just hurts so bad. So let's use the CBG, get you out of pain, and now we can stretch that shoulder and hopefully heal it so you won't need the CBG anymore. But whatever time it took you to get to where you are, that's how much time it'll take you to get back out of it, and there's just no way to speed that process up.
Which people obviously, I mean, I agree with you because like you said, any instant fix or anything that any of us have tried that like works for a second eventually plateaus or you get over it and it's like and it's
Mhm.
not sustainable. Yeah, but like people don't want to fucking hear that, okay? Because people
Right,
want instant gratification,
right.
which is like, yeah, the fundamental problem with so many things. And I'm one of them. I like a good instant gratification, but it
Who
is.
doesn't?
I mean, health really is just like anything. It's like completely rewiring whatever it is that, like you said, that got you there in the first place. So, yeah, I agree. It's a fucking journey, which
Mhm.
people don't always want to go on.
Right.
But I think, you have, if you're going to commit to it, you have to. Like the quick fix is not it. It's just not it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
So, yeah, tell us more about what you teach your clients and stuff then.
I think I try to stick again with the simplicity of it all. Um, One of the big things that I think we can do is that a lot of us know what to do to fix problems. A lot of us just inherently know, it's like if you have a headache, drink some water, right? If you're in pain, work out, stretch. If you're overweight, go for a walk. Like there's just simple things we can do, but then so many health experts will come in and say, "No, that's bad," right? Like I hear all the time that calorie restrictive eating is bad. You shouldn't do that. And it's like, what are you talking about? There's only one way you gain weight. You eat too many calories. There's only one way you lose weight. You eat less calories. That is just how science. That's how it shows. It's how your body works, right? But these experts will say, no, 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 you shouldn't restrict your calories. Oh, you should, feel good about yourself and do these things. And it's like, at some level, there you have to just decide, okay, what is simple, what I know to be simple and real is probably simple and real, and let's just go after it. Let's try it. Go for that walk and see how you feel. I don't think anyone has ever felt worse after a walk. Walks are awesome.
Walkings, I say. That's like one of the only things that I can always rely on to make me happy. Like,
Right.
I
Yeah.
can want everyone to just burn in a pit of my own misery with me, and I'll take a walk and like,
Yeah.
it's like 10 out of 10, the only thing
Right.
I have in my life that I can guarantee to fix every problem.
Totally. Totally. Exactly. So there's so many things like that where it's just like if you just do it, you'll feel better. But it's the sitting at home being I should go for a walk. I should really go for a walk. I should go for a walk. And then you go to bed and you didn't go for a walk. It's like just do it. Go out and
Like,
do it.
talk ourselves out of it so hard. I mean, that's how I am like when I go to the gym to like
Hmm.
I'm good with walking because I don't have to get in the car and
Right.
but I try. I mean, we're at the point where I get to the gym like 3 times a week, but I swear it doesn't get easier any morning. I'm like,
Yeah.
I will talk myself into it and out of it for like two
Hmm.
hours. And then it's like,
Hmm.
well, if you had just stopped and done that like 2 hours ago, it wouldn't be like
Yeah.
1:30
Right.
by
Now we
the
wasted
time
two
you're
hours. Yeah.
now
Exactly.
the day is starting at like 1 because you sat there like a
Yeah.
psycho. So I'm guilt. Hi, I'm guilty.
We all are. We're all very guilty of that. And it's impossible to not be guilty of it. We're going to do it every day. You're never going to be as disciplined as you hope you are, right? That's just not how it works. But we can be a little bit more disciplined today than we were yesterday. And you
That's
can,
true.
if yesterday took 2 hours to go to the gym, maybe today takes an hour and a half, and you can just reduce that a little bit every
That's
day.
a realistic goal because, like,
Right?
making it be in like 20 minutes right now is not realistic. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna nurse those 3 cups of coffee because
Yeah.
you're happy.
Exactly. Exactly. It's so important to be a realist, and that's, I think it's an important with any coaching I do. I'm not going to set expectations that I know aren't possible. I
Right.
mean, and there's so many people that want me to tell them, yeah, you're going to lose 50 pounds in this month. It's not going to happen. It's like, if you don't want to pay me, that's fine. Like, I'm not going to lie to you to get your cash. That's because that at the end of the day,
It doesn't serve
good for
anybody.
nobody. It serves
No.
nobody.
It
Yeah,
serves
you're mad at me. You're not happy with you. You don't refer me. You never tell anybody that you liked it. So it's bad press is bad. You don't want that. So try to be honest. Try to be real, and just tell people exactly how it's going to be. You're going to have a hard time. It's not going to be easy, but that's why I'm here. That's why you're paying me, because you're pledging to do this thing, right? Sometimes people don't have the discipline they need to do it. People always care about their money, right? So when you give your money away and you pledge, I'm going to spend this money to do this thing, you're going to put more work into it.
that's very true. Yeah, I feel, yeah, it's like a commitment. Now you can't talk yourself out of it. And if you
Mhm.
do, well, that sucks. You just wasted.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Okay, that makes sense. And yeah, also, I mean, it's good not to lie.
Mhm.
And you're like their accountability buddy, because
Right.
it is. Like I'm like that with, like, I have a couple friends and we check in with each other, and like, like oh, what did you do this week? And then, sometimes when one friend will be like, I went to the gym 6 times, and I'm like, I hate myself. I only,
Yeah,
I only went once, and now I feel like I
right,
lost that. But it,
right.
it is, it's kind of like, I don't know. It's just like when I check in with them, I'm like, oh shit, am I fucking up? Like,
Well, I think comparison is the thief of joy,
it
and you
is.
can't compare yourself to people. What you can do is say, hell yeah, good job. You did 6. I didn't do that. Can you help encourage me to go 6 next week? And you can always frame it to be more positive. But,
I know.
it's,
So self-deprecating.
yeah. Yeah, that's a common way to be, but it's better if we're not. It's better if you can look for the positive side of things and frame it mentally better than to be, oh, I didn't do it. It's like, well, you didn't, but that's okay. And you can do it today, you can do it tomorrow.
That's true. So I guess that's also probably what you do as a coach. Help us not be self-deprecating.
Well, you got to understand, I have hour-long calls with people, right? And the actual coaching takes about 45 seconds, right? The actual, like, whatever we're talking about can get done pretty quick. The rest of the hour is, what's going on? How are you? Like, and I can sit down and I can tell if one of my clients aren't feeling good. Someone who's usually pretty bubbly and and they're like, hey, how are you? Pause. What's going on? Before we get into the coaching, before we talk about life and business, how's it going? What's up, man? Are you okay? No. What's going on? And that is where a lot of it sits, because if you don't feel good, you're not going to work on yourself. If you feel like crap, you're not going to work on yourself. It's just not going to happen. So step one, let's figure out why you feel like this. Let's make you feel better. Let's get your mindset out of that. And now we can do the coaching thing that you're paying for. But we're here to talk and help you feel better first and foremost.
I like that. That's when we do need to work on ourselves, when we're feeling bad, though.
Yes.
I know, but it is hard. It's hard to like get to somewhere positive from a shitty place, which is
Well, that's why it's helpful to work with a coach or work with a therapist or work with a counselor, because
100%.
sometimes it's just having somebody on the other side of the screen to say, what's going on? Like, why? Why do you feel like this? And then you can be like, oh, I guess I'm kind of overreacting. And then you kind of talk yourself out of it, but just having someone to bounce off can really help.
Oh, 100%. Like, even if I just talk to myself out loud, like I'll hear the
Yeah.
ridiculousness
Right.
or like I have a couple friends, and like we send each other obnoxiously long voice message, like,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
microphone up thing,
Yep.
what the fuck that's called. Voice messages, yeah.
Yeah.
And like I swear we really just use those as therapy. Like I swear the other one really doesn't make it through the whole
Hmm.
thing, because I know I usually don't, and I don't
Yeah.
need to. It's just like the act of like having that platform to just talk your psychosis
Mhm.
out loud. By the end of it,
Right.
I'm always like, oh, you were being a total psycho there. Or like, oh, I feel
Yeah.
so much better.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
things make sense in our head. It's a lot like dreams, right? Where it's like your dream makes sense to you. You remember the dream, you know what happened, but you try to vocalize it to someone, you sound like a crazy person,
Yeah.
right? It's the same way with just how we feel sometimes, where it's like, I feel so bad. I hate my life. I feel so bad. It's awful. It's like, why? Well, because I didn't have my coffee this morning. I don't
Yeah, it's
know.
like
Like, why? I don't
absolutely
know why I'm
fine.
upset, actually. Yeah.
We're so dramatic as human
Yes,
beings. I'm like, and
very
I'm
much.
guilty. I'm such a fucking drama queen. I'll be like,
For sure.
the world is ending. Why?
Mhm.
Because I spilled something and I'm like just fucking over it. You know,
Oh
like
my gosh.
they
They
look.
tell you not to cry over spilled milk, but if I literally spill milk, I'll be so upset.
Oh,
If I, yeah, that's my day. Yeah. And it's like, really? You're gonna waste the whole day over you literally spilled some milk? It's like, it's just stupid. It's just dumb.
it is stupid, but sometimes you gotta cry and then get over it too.
Right. Yeah.
I'm a huge cry and then get over it.
Whatever the process is to get out of it, that's fine. It's totally, as long as it's not a just self-destructive process. But as long as you have a process that gets you out of it, sure, do it. Cry, talk, call somebody, take a shower, hit the steam room, hit a cold plunge, like whatever your process is, great. But
Cold plunges
you
are
have to get
good.
yourself out of it. Yeah.
I like a cold plunge. Are you a advocate for cold plunging?
Uh, on occasion, I don't think we should be doing it regularly. I think it's a great tool. Like there's so many tools and you can overdo tools, you know. There's a
100%.
lot. The main thing, this is a sidebar, but the main thing with the cold plunge is that it releases what's called a cold shock protein in our body. And the cold shock proteins are, they're death proteins. It's your body prepares for death with those proteins. And that's kind of why you get that high, that incredible euphoria. And it's like, should we be convincing our body we're dying once a week? Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably
I
not.
don't.
Yeah. Once in a while, I think it's a good tool, but I don't think it's a regular thing we should be doing.
All right. That leads me to more questions. Like, as of
Yes.
trending things that people are obsessed with, debunk some of them. Or tell us if any of those are good. I can't think of any more besides cold plunging, but I'm sure you can because you do this for a living. Like,
Well, like I said, we started this episode. There's a million, trends. There's a million fad diets. There's a million things you can do. And honestly, like, I'm not going to sit here and debunk anything because people can do things and feel really good about them and genuinely have benefit to them, even if there's no actual physiological benefit, right?
that's
Let's say you just love sticking your hand in jello and rubbing around and it feels so good. You just love it so much. Well, it doesn't actually help your body, it doesn't help society, it doesn't help anything,
but it
but
doesn't
you
also
love
have
it.
any negative
It doesn't have any
connotations.
negative.
There's
You
like
love it.
really nothing
Right.
wrong with it.
Exactly. So it's like, am I gonna tell everyone to go buy a bowl of Jello and grab it? No, that's kind of
Maybe.
weird. Maybe. But if you tell me you love it and I can't find anything wrong with it and it does improve your mental state, do it. That's great. So that's kind of where those trends and those weird fad things come into play. Is if it really helps you feel better,
Right,
I'm
right,
good with it.
right. Okay, that makes sense. Well, then I'll like retort the question. What should we be doing? What would you tell us to like what is your
Mhm.
like advice on a daily
Yeah.
basis for your clients? Like what is your regimen
Yeah.
or is it specific to like individual people? I
For
mean, obviously
overall,
I'm sure it's yeah, overall, just like the general. If I was like if you were talking to me and my audience as like, here you go,
yeah.
here's my do this.
Yes.
Yeah,
Number one, go to bed. Like get sleep. Go to bed. Everybody stays up too late. Everybody, myself included.
me
I
too.
don't know. I don't know what it is about our culture and how, but everybody stays up too late. Go to bed, and then get up. Right. Once you've gone to bed in the morning, get up. Start your day. I
The
can't
hardest
tell you how many
part.
people. Exactly. So many people waste their day away in bed. I mean, and it's great. Look, spending the day in bed's awesome. Like it's great, but it's absolutely no benefit to you or to society or to anybody, right? It's
Yeah.
just a day in bed. And if you need a rest day, I'm an advocate for that. That's great. Take that day. But on a regular daily basis, go to bed, get up, get some exercise of some kind. Do something. Go for that walk. Do a few pull-ups. Do a couple like if you do 3 push-ups, that's better than nothing at all, right? Do something in the morning, get your blood flowing, drink something, whether it's coffee or water or tea, get your body going in the morning, and then just do your day. Keep doing it. Like when I say that, it's like, you have things to do, you have work to get done, you know what you got to do. Just do it. And once it's done, you've earned the day. You've earned your time, you've earned your freedom. Do whatever, go back to bed if you want. I don't care, right? But if you can just do the day, that's going to get you so much further ahead than people who just procrastinate all day and, oh, I could do it tomorrow. I mean, because in our lives, nothing is actually urgent for the most part. Of course, there's some deadlines or some things that are urgent, but
Yeah.
most things are not urgent. they're just in our brain forever. I'll have in my brain, I'll be like, I got to email Heather about the massage oil, and I'll have that in my head for like a week. And it's like, why haven't I done this yet? And just
Yeah,
hey
it's so
Heather, you want any more
easy.
massage oil? Done, sent. It's so easy. But I let it sit in my head for a week. It's like, just do it. So that's kind of the step one, is just go to bed, get up, eat something, drink something, start your day, work out a little bit.
Well,
It's so
that's
basic,
good.
right?
I
Isn't
like
it so easy?
I feel like I do those things, so I feel like I'm already winning. You just made me feel like I'm winning.
That's great. We should feel like winners. You should feel like a winner every day. And that's it's there's nothing worse than being having this self-deprecating like, oh, I'm never meeting my goals. I'm never doing enough. Oh, even when I go to the gym, I'm not working out for long enough. Oh, even when I eat healthy, I'm not eating healthy enough, you know?
That's me. I went
It's
to the gym for like an hour and a half today, and I was like, I don't know, should I go walk 5 miles today too? Because I'm like really sure that that's not enough.
you
Hello,
gotta
Layla, are you okay? Like,
yeah,
that's me
exactly.
speaking to me. Like, are you fucking well?
Right.
Are you gonna be fine?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. And yes, you will be fine. We're all going to be fine. It's going to be okay, right? Like the more you can tell yourself that, the better. But, you know, don't lie to yourself. Don't skip the gym and skip your work and be like, "Oh, it's going to be okay." No, you got to do
Oh,
something.
then it
You have to
really
make it
isn't gonna
okay.
be okay. Yeah. If you
Right.
do all that, it's not gonna be okay. But I do like that you said that you can validation of if you do the things, you can just go back to bed and be
Mhm.
done. Because sometimes I'm literally like, all right, I ate breakfast, I worked out, like I can be done. Like I'm done.
Mhm.
Like whatever happens after this, like
Right.
the day is finished in my mind. You
The
know?
day is won. Yeah, that's how I look at it. I try to do
One,
things.
like maybe I accomplish like 10 other things, which usually like 99.9% of the time I end up doing it. But like, I
Mhm.
don't know, that validation and that gratification of just feeling like you're done actually makes it easier to message Heather to if she needs more massage. Like,
100%, 100%. When you decide the day is done, the day is won, all it's like, well, I have 10 hours left. Might as well send an email. You
might
know,
as
it's
well like mail Heather. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah. No,
exactly.
it's crazy that we like put those things in our brain. That's just like, I don't know. The human brain is, we really need to work on rewiring our brain, but you know, that's a tale for another time. And we all work on that every day. But yeah, because I mean, I did the
Absolutely.
same thing that with me today. I was like, I'm driving home from the gym, and I'm like, oh my God, I have to do this. Let me like, and then I make this long, long list
Hmm.
of things that like must get done the minute I get home. And I walk through the door in like a mid fucking panic attack. I kid you not. I like by the
Yeah,
time I open my door, I'm like, I can't even fucking breathe. I do all of those things in 10 minutes
right,
at home. And I'm like,
right,
hello?
right.
You just
Why was
stressed
I
out
stressed?
about that for 30 minutes and it took
Yeah.
10 minutes and you still have legitimately the whole day. And you did. You literally
Hmm.
dismantled your bedroom. You did wrap all your photos in bubble wrap because you're moving in 2 weeks. Like, why am I stressed also like 2 weeks? But you know, that's our brain and that's just, you know,
Yeah.
that's what we do.
We spend more time stressing about the thing than just doing it. You know, that happens all the time in everyone's life. It's like, I'm so worried about this thing. Oh, how long have you been worried about it? 5 months. How long would it take you to do? 10
5
hours.
minutes.
Do
Yeah.
it. Get it done. You know, what are you talking about?
Stress is the real killer to all of our health and well-being, I believe.
100%. Yeah.
So do you tell people, do you teach people not to stress the fuck out?
Well, I mean, that's the whole thing is if I could teach that, I would be very, really rich. You know, it's
Yeah, same.
stress tolerance is the whole game. It's how much tolerance do you have to stress? And the more stressful things you do, the more stress tolerance you have, and the less stressful things appear to be. I mean, there are things that I do today that I've done today that 4 year ago me would be like stressed about for months, you
Yeah.
know. But it's just you just make the call, you just get it done. You just ask the person for the thing, you just close the deal, you just get it
You just
done, you
do
know.
it, you know, you
Yeah,
just do it. Yeah, I mean, same. I could say that about this move, although like there are
yeah.
little components about like when I stress about like taking the pictures off the wall. I've never been like less stressed out about
Mm,
moving in my life. I'm just
mm,
like, here it is.
that's great.
Which is great because I've moved like 17,000 times, like thank God at this point,
Mm,
you know?
hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. So eventually, yeah. I think eventually you get less stress. But I think like you said, like the tolerance goes down. Now I feel like when I have stressful things, like I don't react to them as well because I feel like I lived in chaos and like
Right.
sheer like chaotic fucking
Hmm.
everything for so many years. So I was like
Hmm.
when it wasn't chaotic, I was worried, and now I feel like my life is a lot more peaceful. So like, I don't handle chaos all that
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
Like, some
That's
situations, like moving, yeah, like it's funny, like big things, I'm like totally cool. People are like, what do you mean you don't have this planned? I'm like, oh,
hmm
fuck, that's gonna be fine. But then like the little thing, like, no,
hmm
absolutely can't do it.
Yeah. I decided I wanted to buy a house about a week ago and I bought one yesterday. So I move quick. I do things very fast.
Fuck
And a
you.
lot of my friends, thank you. A lot of my friends are like, "You move too fast. You got to look at more houses. You got to." I'm like, "Why? I feel good about it. It's delay time to action, delay. I mean, because if I didn't buy this house, someone else would, and then I'd just be stressed about finding another one I like. And it's like, well, I found one. I like it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean,
Is there maybe a house that is 2 percentage points better? I like the paint a
always.
little bit more. Yeah, of course, of course. But is it worth another 10 weeks of stress to find that 2%? No, it's
No,
just not.
absolutely not. I mean, I feel like there's always going to be quote unquote something better in life,
Hmm.
but you can't like live on the principle that it's going to be better because then you
Right.
will never get anything fucking done like
Absolutely.
ever in your
A
life.
100%.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I like that. So, tell us about you. Wait, so you have your own CBDs and CBGs? Is that
Hmm.
okay? Can you tell us?
Yeah, so we have our own farm. It's a USDA organic farm, and that's really important because a lot of companies do not do it USDA organic. And the problem with that is that hemp, which is what we use, we don't use cannabis, we use hemp, so there's no THC. Hemp is an extractor of all heavy metals. So basically, they actually planted a lot of hemp in Chernobyl after the nuclear reactor meltdown because the hemp will actually grow and extract that radiation out of the ground, that the cadmium, the mercury, the arsenic out of the ground. And then you can take the hemp and you can throw it away or move it somewhere else. And now the soil is cleaner. Well, that means if you plant hemp on non-organic farmland, whatever junk's in that soil will end up in that hemp, right? So then these companies extract it and they use it and they bottle it, and all of a sudden your bottle of CBD is going to have mercury, it's going to have arsenic, it's going to
Oh,
have cadmium,
good.
it's going to have lead, insane things. And, maybe small quantities, and some laboratories will say negligible quantities. Well, I don't want any quantity of lead in my CBD. I want
I mean,
zero
I
lead in my
definitely am
CBD.
going for all the arsenic, that's like,
Yeah, yeah, arsenic maxing. Yeah, it's really good for you. No, so we lab test along the way everywhere. We lab test the hemp as it comes out of the. We start with lab testing the soil. We lab test the hemp out of the ground. We lab test the raw materials, and then we lab test the final product to make sure that at no point was any heavy metal or chemical introduced whatsoever. So it's just really, really important that we do it all. We call it vertically integrated. We do all of it in house. We don't have a third party that we're buying CBD from.
oh, where did I go? Oh, okay. I don't know what happened. Sorry. My video went away. But okay, that's really good. And I think that's super important because, yeah, when you're trusting a third party, that and
Hmm. You've no idea. Yeah,
you
you've no
know,
idea. There was a company last October, a major CBD company. I won't say their name, but they were hit with the FDA because they were selling highly contaminated CBD. The FDA took it, they tested it, highly contaminated, and we're talking millions of bottles sold, millions of people were and
that scares me.
well, and these people, I mean, these people
Oh,
don't get compensated. You don't get a refund. You don't get a payout. You don't get a doctor's appointment. You're just told, hey, we messed up. We actually, we sold you some lead, but we paid a fine to the government, so it's okay.
it's
It's like,
okay. Yeah.
but I have lead in me now. Well, you'll be fine. Will I?
Like,
I
will
don't
I?
know.
Like, because I'm not sure. Like, lead point
Right.
paint poisoning was,
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
yeah.
Pretty bad. So, and then until somebody decides on a class action lawsuit, you don't get anywhere. And then even if you do that, you get 1,000 people together, you sue the company says, hey, we'll pay you $50 if you shut up. And then enough people say sure, and then it all goes away. So there's no accountability, and it's never going to change. You have to be the one to decide, okay, I'm going to buy from the companies that I trust and that prove with lab results what they say to be true.
Yeah, which is rare. So good for you
Mhm.
for being one of those.
That's why we're still around. We wouldn't be around if we weren't. There's nothing special about my CBD other than the fact that it's pure, right? There's
Right.
CBD is
Yeah, CBD
CBD,
is CBD.
CBG
Yeah,
is CBG,
exactly.
but we can prove to you that it's going to be medical grade. It's going to be best for everybody, whereas other companies can't do that.
That's super important.
Hmm.
Tell us more about CBGs because like that is not anything I really
Yeah.
know anything about. Like, I
Hmm.
mean, this is coming from a girl who eats her CBDs and uses the solves and used to
Yeah.
have a weed farm back in the day when weed was illegal. So like I
Yeah.
really like now, I don't know. This is beyond my pay grade.
There's 113 discovered cannabinoids. By the way, I want to say this on your podcast real quick.
Yeah.
People say cannabinoid, but the word is cannabis, and it comes from that word. I
Yeah.
say cannabinoid. I don't
That's
think.
always heard it.
Yeah,
I feel
I,
like that makes sense.
I'm hearing new doctors say cannabinoid. I don't agree with it. It doesn't make sense
It
with
doesn't make any sense. Make
the
the
etymology of the word does not work out for anyways.
yeah.
So cannabinoid. There's 113 discovered ones, and CBD is one of them. THC is one of them. CBG is one of them. CBN, CBC, CBT. They all
Yeah.
do different things.
Don't know those last ones.
Right. They all do different things. The most important thing is that they work best together.
Oh,
So a broad spectrum oil, and you'll see on our product that it says broad spectrum hemp oil on it. That means that we're getting all the cannabinoids in one. CBD or CBG or CBN might be the main one we isolate, and we might isolate it and then bring in more of it. So a very good example is you can get what's called a raw hemp distillate, which is what we get. It's just the main. It's just what is the hemp. It's all the different oils, all the different cannabinoids, flavonoids, botanicals, all that. Then you can isolate CBD, which is what we do, and you can combine it all in one. So now you have a CBD rich phytocannabinoid mixture. And that is what we do to make sure we get all of them. But CBG is unquestionably the best for pain and inflammation. So what we try to do is really separate on the website. Look, if you are stressed, anxious, can't sleep, CBD is going to be your best friend. No question about it. If you're in pain, inflammation, you have IBD, IBS, you have glaucoma, arthritis, you're literally in pain, CBG will be your best friend. And they definitely work together, and most people will buy them together. And we're actually coming out with a starter kit on November 1st, so you're going to get a better price on getting both CBD and CBG together. We're also going to give you some free vitamins with that in that kit. But that's because, again, there's such a specific use case for every cannabinoid. CBN, it's known for sleep. I'm iffy on it because it's actually THC.
mm.
THC is the illegal one, and it degrades into CBN. So I'm a little iffy on it. That's a whole different conversation. CBT is known for elongating the length of the cannabinoids. So if, let's say, CBD lasts for 2 hours, you take it with CBT, it might last for 3 hours.
Okay.
CBC is known for energy, brain fog, that kind of stuff. So, but we're learning. And and me saying all this, there's like 2 research papers on this stuff. Like there's very, very little research in this
Okay.
space yet. So I'm learning, my company's learning, and we're sharing what we're learning. And we've been so transparent since day one. Like, look, this is what we know right now, but we will be learning more things, and we will share those things with you as we learn them.
We like the honesty.
That's all we got.
I speak for the consumers all over the world.
Yes, I know you're the voice of consumerism.
I don't know. I laugh because that's fucked up. At the same time, it's also correct,
It's kind of
But
true.
that's great. I'm a great fucking consumer, believe it or not.
I believe it.
Yeah,
I
which is
believe it.
obviously great, but yeah,
We
we're all consuming shit. I
are.
like,
But so that's the short of it is like if you're literally in pain, CBG is great. If you're anxious, stressed, can't sleep, CBD is great. And then anybody if it can benefit from both CBD and CBG. I promise if you try it, you'll feel like, oh, I feel a little bit better. So they're pretty incredible
which is
cannabinoids.
really great to know because I always I mean, I'm gonna say we again, but me, and I feel like a lot
Mhm.
of people have been using CBD for pain for
Yeah.
years. And,
That's what it was marketed
yeah,
as, which I'm frustrated about. And I mean, we're trying to fix that marketing. It's not our fault. We didn't market it that way, but every other company did. And
yeah,
we're trying to fix that education where it's like, look, people say, oh, CBD doesn't work. Well, it doesn't work for what you thought it worked for, but it does work for sleep, for anxiety, for stress.
yeah,
It's
it
just not
definitely makes me less stressed out. But like,
totally
I was, but like even me, like all my CBD tinctures, I was never taking it for stress. I was taking it
right.
'cause, like my sciatica broke me
That's what
today and I
everybody
can't
says. Yeah.
fucking get off the couch. And
That's
like,
what
yeah,
everybody
does
says.
it usually work for that? Not, I mean, sometimes every once in a while I get a lucky break and I'm like,
Well, there's going to be trace, if it's a broad spectrum or full spectrum, there's going to be trace amounts of CBG, trace
yeah,
amounts of other cannabinoids. So, like, maybe you just got a little bit bigger of a dose with this, and it's like, oh, wow, it worked. It was
yeah,
just that other cannabinoid.
that
So
makes sense.
it's
'Cause, like, there's some products that like I will swear by, and then there's
right,
some like, yeah, it didn't do fucking shit. I'm
right.
still on my deathbed. Thank you so much.
Right. Well, yeah, it's like any drug. If you were depressed and they prescribed you a heart medication, well, it's not going to help your depression,
That really
right?
wouldn't do much.
No, it wouldn't do much. Yeah. So it's like, you're taking CBD for pain. It's the
Right.
wrong medicine. It doesn't work.
Right, which I think is very interesting because I learned that like hours ago today when I was like stalking your social
Oh,
media.
yeah. Yeah,
I
yeah.
had no fucking idea until today. So
Yeah,
this is
that's what we're here
my
for.
this is my greatest piece of information. But I feel like I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but I feel like I'm not alone in that
No,
ideology. I can't
absolutely not.
but like now I'm gonna go yell at my cousin after this and tell her to get on CBG because that bitch
Yes,
needs some serious pain medication because
definitely.
the lady who's had hip surgery once at 30 years old and is like about to have other and just like can't stand up and can't walk anymore. So I'm like,
Mhm.
hey girl.
Yeah. Yeah. CBG really, really helps because it's an anti-inflammatory first and foremost. And the majority of pain we feel is inflammation.
Right.
Pain is theoretical. And that's why we have a pain scale. People have how bad is your face this or is it this, right? That's kind of the pain scale. It's because pain is theoretical and everyone feels pain differently. But inflammation is not theoretical. Inflammation is real. So
Right.
CBG targets inflammation, and that is what relieves the feeling of pain. What was I going to say? The like again that concept of pain.
Yes. The concept. I like that. It's just a
But I
concept.
mean, think about it. If you're in, you mentioned sciatica pain, which can be
Yeah.
so pervasive and so brutal.
It's the
But
worst fucking thing
oh,
ever because that
right,
shit just triggers for no reason. Like I'll be a
right,
whole ass functioning human being and wake up just fucking ruined.
right. And your pain scale, it's maxed out. It's so bad. It's horrible. But what if someone came in your room and punched you in the face as hard as they could? Well, all of a sudden, that's the new pain scale. The
Yeah,
sciatica is a little bit less, right?
I
So
would
it's
be grateful when my is flaring up. I'm like, please fucking punch me.
Yeah. So but exactly. So now and like it's a joke, but it actually does frame it like, whoa, I'm actually, now there's less pain in my sciatica. My nose is broken and that sucks, but
That sucks.
sciatica is better. So pain is 100% relative and it's
That,
very hard to quantify.
that is true. Yeah. Most of us are in pain in one way or
In
another.
some way, absolutely,
In
100%.
our broken ass society that needs your CBD, CBGs,
Definitely. And
and
that's,
help.
I'm excited. It's still so early, and my business has struggled because we haven't been able to. We've never run ads ever because you're not allowed to in CBD, and
Really?
the so the big companies are allowed to because they're friends with Facebook and they're friends with Google. I'm not allowed to, and it's always been a struggle because these big giant companies just advertise the wrong way, and it gives CBD a bad name. And some of them are failing big time now. My biggest competitor since day one has been a company called Medterra CBD. They suck. No one should buy
Yeah.
them. They're contaminated. They don't have the potency they say they do. They don't have the testing they say they do. They don't have the infrastructure. They're lying about their infrastructure. They're not vertically integrated. They buy from third parties, and yet they do $30 million a year. So it's like until people realize that they are lying or these companies are lying, my company is I'm just going to sit here in the background, do a good job, do good business, be honest, and hope that enough people spread word of mouth, spread what I'm doing, and people realize, okay, well, I don't hate CBD, I just hate Medterra CBD. I like
Right.
USA Medical CBD.
I know it is hard being a smaller company and especially, yeah, one who isn't besties with the engine,
Right. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
team to,
Right.
yeah, promote the ads, which is unfortunate. And that's why a lot of like,
Yeah.
that's why we don't get a lot of good healing in
100%.
general as a society because like even like you to go back full circle like before like alternative medicine is so frowned
Hmm.
upon. So, you get
Yeah.
all these mixed bag information and you don't know who to
Right.
trust, you don't know who to follow, you don't know what's real. And that's also, even in that category, is shoved down the hole. So unless you're actually
Mhm.
looking, you don't know. But then once you are looking, you still don't fucking know because
Right.
but
Right.
you can actually prove your product, which is good
Mhm.
because we don't know who to trust, and we don't, and that we're in a world of so much fucking consumerism and just completely saturated 24/7 with buy this, buy that, but try this, try that. So yeah,
Well, think about I can't run an ad for my holistic CBD, but Pfizer can run an ad for their new drug, right? And
good.
the ad says if you take our drug, you might get nauseous and diarrhea and depression, and you might die, and you might lose
Also
your
death, yeah.
mind.
I
And
love
it's
that's
like,
my favorite part of those lovely
yeah,
pharmaceutical ads. It's like
you might die.
death. Every single one like 10 out of 10.
I guess I'll just stick with my heartburn, right? Like, like what's the what? I don't want to die, so yeah, it's really too bad. It's really too bad that we have, but that's the state of affairs in the United States. That the drug companies are the ones that get to decide what's on TV right now.
I just think it's fucked up though because I always say it and I'll say it until I'm fucking
Mhm.
dead, not from their drugs because I
Right.
don't like them, but like it's like I get it, it's a money game, but rich people, I get it. I'm not even suggesting we take away your money, although we fucking should, and you can go fuck yourself. Thank you. But
Yeah.
like you could still make that much money if you just
Yeah.
switch to not killing people. And I will
Right.
never fucking understand that. I will die on that hill.
Right.
Why the fuck do we do that? I don't get it. You can't
Right.
can't convince me that it's correct.
Hmm.
But because like, we could at least maybe your company wouldn't thrive, but at least we could push CBD CBGs instead of like, hello, heartburn equals heart
Right.
attack, death.
Right.
And
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
I'll
Exactly.
never understand, but that's like not for me to figure out or solve. It's just that I
Hmm.
would really love if one day before I perish from this book, we figured that one
Yeah,
out. That's the
it'd be great.
society.
I totally agree with that, but I'm not sure if we're gonna get there anytime soon.
I don't think so, but I'll still yell about it because I
I love
can't.
it. Right. They can't stop you.
Well, that's not true. Zoom wouldn't let me continue the other night, so they will try.
Wow, they'll shut you down.
I got muted.
Really?
And
Zoom.
then it wouldn't come back. And then I wasn't allowed to record. So, yeah,
Wow. You
sometimes.
got banned on Zoom. Crazy.
Well, it worked today because I'm not really like, I guess I'm not threatening any order today.
Right. We're keeping it all above board today.
We're being good girls
Yeah.
and boys. But yes, that's true. Got distracted there. But yeah, so like we've almost been on for an hour. So tell like how do we work with you? How should people contact you? Are you
Yeah.
expecting new clients?
Yeah, not always. Right now, I've converted. I do a lot more business consulting now than health consulting.
Okay.
At this point, so much of my health content is out there. It's free, and you're not going to hear anything different from me in a one-on-one. So at this
Mhm.
point, I'm not doing a whole lot of health coaching anymore. If someone really wants to work with me, I do like working with people that really want to work with me. So my actual Instagram is just at Jake Crossman, JakeCrossman. You can find me there. If you have questions about health, about CBD, about business, like send me a DM. I respond to everybody. I respond to every DM I get. So I'd love to talk with anybody that wants to talk.
And business too? What do you
So at this point, after USA Medical has grown where I'm at, I've actually launched over 10 different companies in the last 4 years, and I've worked with 19 different companies consulting on them. So at this point, I have a good understanding of what business is. Through my health platform, I understand how to sell things better. I understand how to leverage things better, and most of my advice is just be honest, do things the correct way. So my advice I'm giving to you today is what I give to any, consulting firm of like, look, just do it the better way. How do we make more money? Well, what are you not doing the best? Well, we kind of cut the corners on this. What if you didn't? Oh, well, make more money. Crazy. So that's kind of how I look at health. That's how I look at business, how I look at life. What if you just didn't cut corners and you just did it the right way?
what if you just did better?
Wow. What a concept.
What a fucking concept. I
Yeah.
love
Wow.
it. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming and to
Thank
everyone,
you.
do better.
Do better.
Do better.
Yeah. And look, I want to close this thought real quick where it's like you're gonna do as good as you can do today, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But tomorrow you can do better, and the next day you can do even better. The next day you can do even better. So don't put the stress, the pressure of I didn't do my best today if you did. If you can look in the mirror and say, you know what? I did go to the gym. I did get my work done. I did eat one healthy meal. I did drink a whole glass of water. Be proud of yourself. And even if you had that cheesecake or you had that, whatever, maybe tomorrow you don't. Maybe tomorrow you do. But be proud of yourself today and just try to be a little better tomorrow.
Love it. Love that. Keep your expectations reasonable for yourself. So that's really
100%.
key. Well, thank you so much for coming,
Thank
and
you.
everybody go follow him and listen to all of his advice
I love it.
and buy his products.
Very nice of you. Yeah, and hey, if you send me a DM, say you came from her show, and I'll get you a great discount on some products.
Perfect. See that? Listeners, go buy it. Go buy
There it
it.
is.
Go
Go
buy
buy it. Go buy it.
it. So thank you so much. And thank you all for my listeners for listening to the Layla Show. Catch you next week. Peace, you motherfucking show.
Bye.
The Layla Show.